Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Time and this Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice special edition review. This is gonna have some spoilers in it, just giving you a warning right now that if you haven't seen the film, I'm gonna talk about a few things here and there, and I'm sorry, but go watch the film first if you really don't want anything spoiled. Otherwise, let's jump right on into it. Alright, so first off, you guys, this film, it's billed as Batman vs Superman with the subtitle of Dawn of Justice. So you would think that this film is mostly Batman vs Superman. You'd be wrong in the sense of them actually fighting. I mean, a big portion of this film, most of this film is focused on, you know, Batman and his vendetta or war or going after Superman, and Superman, you know, trying to stop the Bat vigilante and this and that and the other. So there's, a lot of the rhetoric in the movie, a lot of the talking, dialogue, monologues, all of that is Batman vs Superman. But then you really, when you get down to it, the fight between the two, which there's only one fight, and I thought there was gonna be a little bit more than that. It was a good fight, but it was really short-lived. The major portion of the last final act is Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman versus Doomsday. Now in this film, I do honestly believe that this film, it felt like, to me, more so a Batman film than a Superman, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice type of thing. It felt like they had to do that so they can give you this character and you can understand why they're clashing, and you can always have an emotional connection to him. I guess that when they made this film, they are assuming that you have seen Man of Steel and you already have a connection to Henry Cavill's Superman. But if you haven't seen Man of Steel, this movie is not going to build that emotional connection, so you're going to have a one-sided film. So to me, with that being said, this film feels like a Batman movie. And Ben Affleck as Batman is one of the better aspects of the film. I think it brings something new to the table that we haven't seen. It's way different than Christian Bale's Batman, way different than Val Kilmer, George Clooney's Batman, and different than Michael Keaton's Batman. But even then, it's a really good different take on Batman. There is a video that I have yet to watch, and it talks about all the possible kills that Batman's made in the Nolan movies, or some of the Schumacher films, or the Tim Burton Batmans. It talks about kind of how many possible kills that he has, and I think the number was something like over 40, or give or take, and I could be off a little bit with that number, but it talks about, like, shows you all the possible kills. So in retrospect, Batman could have been killing people in the other movies, we just didn't see it. It happened a lot off screen. In this one, Batman is gritty. He's damaged, he's hurt, he's been through the ringer, and he wants to protect the people he cares about and the city of Gotham and just Earth in general, mankind, our species. But at the same time, he's okay with, you know, if they're gonna try to kill him in this film, which they do, he's okay with killing them, which I like that he's just like, you know what, there's no time for this, oh, I can't kill anybody because it would be a disgraceful thing to do because I'm a hero, I'm a good guy. No, they're trying to kill me, I'm gonna shoot them with my 50 cal, blow up their car, whatever the case may be. But then at the same time though, when the people are, when the bad guys, there's one scene in there where he's clearing an entire warehouse of dudes, and he just goes to town on them, and he is whooping their asses. And it's like, Batman is supposed to be the physical peak of man, and in this film, he's not like a super soldier like Captain America, but he's like the top. He's supposed to be like the top of what a man can be, and dude's just freaking rocking people. Oh man, it's a great fight scene, and that's a really good fight scene, and I love it. But in this though, like, some of them, they're fighting them hand to hand, and some of them have guns at the beginning as well. But I mean, it's not like he goes out to kill those guys. He might break some bones, and some of them might actually die from internal bleeding or something like that. But it's not like in other scenes where they're shooting at him, so he just shoots them back. And also, there's a dream sequence in this film, and he kills people in the dream sequence. But overall, the Batman aspect of this film was I thought it was really well done. It really drew me into the characters. Alfred, played by Jeremy Irons, he did a really good job. He did seem like he had some knowledge some wisdom to him. He's been through war. Apparently this character, I remember hearing about it a while back, his character has been through war. His character has seen it all, not as a superhero, but he's been through that kind of stuff. So he's wise, he's a veteran as well. And in this one, I like what they add to him. He's like helping Batman, you know, maintain his gadgets, his vehicles. It's awesome, really cool. Jeremy Irons did a great job. Batman, Ben Affleck did a really good job, as well as Batman. They definitely make me want to see the Batman whenever it comes out. Henry Cavill, I actually really liked his Superman in Man of Steel, and I like him as an actor. He definitely has that look to him. I do think though that they underused him in a sense where there were points in this film where they could have had him kind of just flat out say something or do something. Instead, they have him be reckless or have him keep his mouth shut and be not quick enough. And just kind of, I wish that, I mean, for him being Superman, I wish that he would have been able to react in a different manner, faster or whatever case may be. He can hear Lois pounding on when she's drowning, pounding on like the cement block that fell over, but he can't hear his mom being, you know, kidnapped. It's not entirely inconsistent, but there are some things where it's like, well, he's supposed to be super fast. He's supposed to be able to hear this, that, and the other. It's like some of his powers, maybe he turns them off, I guess. He focuses them off. And there's just certain things that they had opportunities to really let you feel the feel for Superman, feel for Henry Cavill's Superman, and understand where he's coming from. And they just don't do it. So they continue throughout the entire movie. It's almost to paint him in a bad light. Even they don't let Superman defend himself in that way. Like, they gave him one opportunity and he doesn't use it to the best of his advantage because it gets spoiled by Lex Luthor. But even then, like, you would figure he'd be able to stop it, and it doesn't happen that way. So I feel like they underused him. And the thing is, I like Henry Cavill. In Man from U.N.C.L.E., I thought he was awesome in that movie. I really like him in that film. And in this one, I feel like, oh man, he's a good actor, and he played a good Superman. However Zack Snyder directed him in this film, he did a good job with that. But I felt like the storytelling with his character was a little lackluster in certain areas. A lot of the other characters in the film fell flat, I thought. And by falling flat, I just mean that they just weren't used. Maybe it was because there were so many things going on. It felt like there was a movie I watched last year or the year before. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was one of the Transformer films. I think it was Age of Extinction. And I kind of said, like, it feels like it was from a kid's mind. This kind of feels like it's from a kid's mind, and then they gave it to somebody, and then they got what the kid's, like, idea of the film was, and then put, like, some fancy words in there for people like Jesse Eisenberg to say in his monologues and in his dialogue. And then they also put that stuff in there to maybe make the complexity of the film a little bit more. But overall, like, even with the characters, they fell flat because it feels like it's from a kid's mind. It's like it's all over the place. It's going left, right, and center. It's not the threads are kind of coming together, but kind of missing at the same time. I don't feel like everything was really fluid. It was kind of jerky. Stop, cutting here, cutting there, going to another scene. There was some voiceover at the beginning and then at the end, but at the end it was actually him having a conversation with Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. But at the beginning it wasn't a conversation with her, so I don't get it. It's kind of weird to have that narrative, but it's not. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to have that narrative, that narration over the film, over the footage that you're seeing about how Batman came to be. It's just a little weird. They made some interesting choices in that aspect throughout the film. There were other parts where. I guess, I don't know if it was the theater I was in, but I've seen other people complain about this, is the audio. I felt like at the audio there were certain points where the levels were off, you know, like the music was up here and they're having somebody talk or something along those lines, and it's way down here and you cannot hear it. And I watch films with a lot of the time with subtitles because my parents are both hard of hearing, so I'm used to that. But at the same time, like, I was like, man, begging for subtitles watching this film because there were so many moments where I just couldn't hear the lines because they had so much background stuff going so loud, and it's over on top of all the voices, all the dialogue that's happening. So there were certain choices that they made that could have been better, well executed. It could have been better executed, and they weren't done in such a great fashion. Jesse Eisenberg, I do like him as an actor. I do feel that he needs to open up his spectrum of what he can do more, and this was a great opportunity for him. And this character was unlike Zombieland or any other characters that he's done in like movies that he, you know, the Social Network, Zombieland. It was unlike any of those. But at the same time, this character was, it was almost like he was spewing out these rhymes or sentences of dialogue just to say them. And it could have been much simpler. He's so manic or so, you know, frenzy all over the place, and he has a point with everything he says, but he's so all over the place. I guess, you know, again, that's the direction by Zack Snyder. I don't know if that was Jesse Eisenberg's choice. I do like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor. If that was the direction, he did a good job of doing that. But the character could have been, you know, done a little bit better. There was a certain point where he actually got access to one of the ships that crashed from Man of Steel. And so I'm assuming that he learned a ton of stuff from the ship, because it starts telling him that there's over 100,000 known planets that they've species or whatever, and then it kind of cuts. So we're assuming, or we're expected to assume, that he learns from the ship. At the end of the film, he goes on spouting off some stuff, and he's talking about the bells have been rung, and then after that I couldn't even understand what he's saying, because again, the music was too freaking loud, and then the way he was talking in all this like soliloquy, like haiku type of talking, I couldn't make out all the words, it seemed. And so, but everybody's talking how he was alluding to Darkseid because of a few other instances. One, the dream sequence where I talked about with Batman. Also, two, the photo. He talks about a picture turning it upside down and have the demons coming from the heavens. There's just so many things like that that go along with the audio, with his character, that it made it really hard for me to watch. And not because I disliked it, just because it was hard to watch, hard to understand, hard to hear. Lois Lane, I don't know. I didn't care. She did her part. Amy Adams is a good actress. Didn't use her to the best of their ability. They could have done better with her. That doesn't ruin the movie. I think the biggest thing about this film, and I mentioned this a little while ago, is that this film is going left, right, center. It's jerky. It stops. It cuts. It goes forward. It goes backwards. There's so many things that they expect you to understand or assume or know about already or have a connection to, that overall it brings the film down a little bit if you're going into this as a one film experience. Overall, I do suggest you to watch this film in theater because it is a spectacle. This is something you want to see in theaters because this is freaking Batman versus Superman, you know? It's not something you want to just like, let me just catch it on TV on, you know, when it comes to cable. No, you want to see this film in theaters. It's big. It's there with the action. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going for this film, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that brings it down. And with that being said, like I said, go watch it in theaters. I don't hate this film. I came out of it like, that was cool, but it was not impactful for me in the sense or the way that let's say The Winter Soldier was, or even Man of Steel. When I saw Man of Steel in theater, like I came out of that film like, wow, that was a great take, especially after Superman Returns. Like I was like, wow, that was really good. I'm really happy with that. So this one for me, it did a really good job of setting up the possibility of little things outside with the Justice League. It was weirdly placed, again, like I said, weirdly placed how they showed you the little clips of each of the members, but it's interesting. It makes you want to see what else is out there. This film was almost, it felt like to me like it's setting up like 5 different TV shows, but in this case 5 movies. It's like, episode to episode. It almost made me feel like, man, I want to see what the next episode is, which in this case would be the next movie, which for me, Suicide Squad's coming out later this year, but I hope the Batman comes out pretty soon. I'm looking forward to that one. I want to see what Ben Affleck can do in that one when he has the entire stage for himself. I definitely, one big spoiler that really kind of brought me down at the end of this film is that they kill Superman at the end of the movie. Doomsday kills him, and because of how they were treating Superman, I felt that this death wasn't deserved. This death didn't have the impact that it could have happened if they would have changed some things around. They keep showing Henry Cavill as down and feeling like he's contemplating why he's there, but he never speaks up, and they get to the point where he's showing that he's good by killing Doomsday, and he gets killed himself. But right when it happened, I was like, wow, they're gonna do that? They're gonna kill Superman after 2 movies? when they're trying to plan this big Justice League thing. And I was literally thinking this right when it happens. And then not only 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, when they get through the funeral, they show sand rising over his casket. So of course, dirt rising over his casket. So of course, Superman's alive again. I thought it was really dumb how with this whole fight, they show the newspaper, Perry White shows the front page, and it shows Superman is gone, whatever, he's dead. And then he opens up to the page with the obituaries, and Clark Kent is dead. And it's just like, wow, there was a lot of people that should have died in this big fight, because there are scenes where Doomsday is putting off this like radioactive blast or something, and he's literally destroying and decimating and leveling blocks upon blocks upon blocks of buildings. And like when I say leveling, I mean they're crumbling. So seeing that whole like death thing with Superman, where the fact that he did die and then he's back to life, and then also that he's in the paper and only Clark Kent's in the paper, that kind of stuff felt shoehorned in for me. It felt like they let's do this just to try to see if we can grab people's attention. And I thought they should have saved that for something else. Save that for Justice League. Save that for something that matters more. Save it for a moment when that emotional thing and it happens, it's gonna be lasting, you know. At this point, it's not lasting because obviously he's coming back. So I felt like that was misused. Having the death of Superman right there. Overall, again, guys, I keep jumping around just like the movie was. Go see this film in theaters. I liked it. I did not hate it. I did not love it. It was a decent movie. If you didn't watch Man of Steel, I would recommend watching Man of Steel to get that emotional connection with those characters, because in this film you can definitely find that emotional connection with Batman. You have a connection with Wonder Woman because she's kind of badass in this film. Gal Gadot just knocked it out of the park. But with Superman and those characters in that universe, they kind of they did a lackluster job, I feel, with those characters. So go see Man of Steel. Go watch this film in theaters, you guys. I liked it. Let me know what you think in this comment section down below. Let me know what kind of things just either pissed you off or you really enjoyed. And just let me know. Let's have a great conversation about it. All right, guys. So that's it for this review of Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Remember to click the like, share, subscribe buttons down below. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section. Let's have a great conversation this week. We'll see you next time. Peace.